How we doing this evening on the live stream? Let me just, as we do at this particular point in time, let's go through. Yes, indeed. The YouTube is good. We got to connect over. Facebook is working with me. Facebook is working with me. I appreciate that. All right, and we live over here. I don't know why. I don't acknowledge X. I don't acknowledge X. It's Twitter. But yes, indeed. Okay, the Twitter is where it needs to be. And I didn't have it open, but let me just go ahead and make sure. I got to open up the Twitch site. Learning about Twitch. Twitch is. But let me just go into the stream manager. And is it coming over? Yes, indeed. Excellent connection on the Twitch. And so, yes, we're back with you. And it's a beautiful thing. Summertime on the Cape. So sometimes these episodes are later. That's just the way. Let me get my shot right. You know what I mean? I did my, okay, let me just get the shot a little bit better. Okay, so you can see, have the picture in the background. That's one of my, you know what I mean? That's a No Country for Old Men picture in the background. You know, the dudes playing dominoes, the old timers playing dominoes at the Sunday cookout or the Sunday family gathering, which we're going to get to. Shout out to community gatherings. I don't know if you can see, I'm rocking Unity Day. Let me, you know what I mean? Rocking Unity Day, which is coming up. Essentially a community cookout here on the Cape in the township of Barnstable, the village of Hyannis specifically. And my cousin, the flag man, he makes these super, red was 1 year. This upcoming year is purple. I had black 1 year. So the shirts, they're very comfortable and they're very fashionable and stylish. Shout out to the flag man. Shout out to unity in the community. We need that. Okay. Specifically, as we are in a time, an election year, and the temperature in the room goes up and we feel different ways and we have different viewpoints. Okay. But we have to always remember that the unity is the strength. At the end of the day, even though we may disagree vehemently, there's processes for things, and things go through the process to get to the just and final and right result. um, but while those things are taking place, we respect each other, we respect our neighbors, and we do it, with a love and a gratitude and appreciation in our heart. So yeah, that's where very proud of Unity Day that we have here in Barnstable. That's the shirt, and shout out to the flag man. One of the hardest working men in show business, out of show businesses, in show business, out of show business. People on the Cape and Islands, they know the flag man, and all the different things that he does. So great to be with you. The streams are working. Again, the episodes a little bit later. Had to get my Cape League game in today. I can't miss the Cape League for nothing, particularly when we had a beautiful, humid, sunny for the most part, Cape Cod day. But the Cape League game, the Hyannis Harbor Hawks versus the Orleans Firebirds this evening. Can you believe it? The way that the forecast played out. Game starts at 6 o'clock. 5:50. What happened? The torrential downpours came in. Was waiting. Was in the mix all day. Checked the forecast before. I was like, maybe I was planning on going over around 7. Didn't get over there till around 8 o'clock. But that rain that was holding off, and then 10 minutes before first pitch, it poured down. So I got over there around 8:15-ish, but there was only in the fifth or sixth inning because the game was delayed. And because I was there, in part, along with some other local homeboys, we brought that good energy. Harbor Hawks went up 6-5. When I left, seventh inning stretch, so people was moving and grooving and bouncing and having a good time. I did not see the final result, but of course, we put the faith in the hope and the love behind the home team. We're gonna root for the home team, because if they don't win, it's certainly a shame. And the Harbor Hawks was up 6-5 against the Orleans Firebirds, and I'm gonna check that result. Hopefully, they came back and got the W. So that's just a beautiful thing. And again, I love sports. This is SandCity Sports. I'm the Cape Cod kid giving you the sports takes. But baseball is not even my cup of tea. But you can't pass up seeing the next Aaron Judge, Cape League alum. You can't pass up seeing the next Mookie Betts, Cape League alum. You can't pass up seeing the next Bazaza. Forget his name first. No, hold on. Let me go ahead. I got to step over. Let me just Google up. I don't want to do. I think it's Travis. Let me go ahead and Google him up right quick. Don't know who I'm talking about. Baseball, because it pains me when I miss. It is Travis. It is Travis. That's what Travis Bazaza. Number one overall pick in the MLB draft. He's a Falmouth Commodores alum. Okay, sorry I had to go, but yeah, it messes with me, when you have it in your mind, but then you don't want to get somebody's name wrong. Travis Bazaza, Cape League alum. So it's just crazy and a beautiful thing that right in literally, not literally like my backyard, like field. That's not like a field of dream situation with a kid. Well, that'd be bananas, if but I don't live on a farm, But if the Cape League was right in my backyard, but these games are at our local schools, our local high schools, at Pope John Paul in Hyannis, at DY in Dennis Yarmouth Regional High School. For those of you not from the Cape, right in Yarmouth, they play at Nauset Middle School. That's where the Firebirds play. Orleans Firebirds play at Nauset Middle School. It's just can't get over the fact that that hometown, small town vibe is just intersects literally with the best baseball players on the planet. When Mookie Betts, Aaron Judge, Chris Sale, who's balling right now for the Atlanta Braves, happy for Chris Sale, are playing for these teams. I think we can say, that it's distinctive and unique. So I had to check the Cape League game out. After that, I had to go to the grocery store, get my groceries. I feel a little bit better. I'm doing a little bit better on my greens. I'm getting my garden salad on a consistent basis. I need to exercise a little bit more consistently. Did get a good men's league game in last night. Did have too many turnovers. Also, I had 8 points in my men's league game last night. I went 2 for 2 from three. They don't respect my three because I don't shoot very much. You know what I mean? A lot of people. How can I do? Who is the modern point guard? My man from Indiana that really mirrors my game. Comes off the bench. Why am I not getting these names? Obviously, Halliburton is the young star that's powering Indiana. Let's see if his name comes to my mind. He comes off the bench. He played for Arizona. T.J. McConnell. My man T.J. McConnell. That's my game. As a hooper, I am the quintessential game manager. I lead with the defense. You could even say Rudy. I think I'm a little bit. I can't, because Rudy made it. I can't say I'm more talented than Rudy, but I in my mind, and legend in your own mind, you think, but you could say, but TJ McConnell's, that's who I model my game after. Okay, shout out to Rudy. Love Rudy. I may or may not be more talented than Rudy. That's up for debate. It's up for debate. But that's how I participate and get down. Passing, deep, just like a floor general. But as a floor general, too many straight lines drives yesterday. The young guys were just breezing past me. It was bananas. It was fouling them, reaching. It was crazy. Don't let Coach Hurley Coach Hurley at UConn or Coach Hurley Sr. at St. Anthony's know that this is how I was playing. And I had unnecessary turnovers. So we were up double digits to start. We started off fast, running our secondary break. Then we hit a couple lows. It was 1 or 2 point game at the half, and then some breakdowns in the second half. Ended up losing by 12 points. But good game. Our team is unified. We play together. We work together. So that's our spirit is tremendous. We're going to get them next time. But at this point, so the game was one thing that was a beautiful thing. I got to get up on my stats and standings. I do, just you could tell, sports nerd. So I do the stats and standings for the league. So I'm going to get that straightened out. Get those, because we had a couple people that was balling. Some of the young bucks was balling. My man Matt McMurrow, he wouldn't mind me saying that he was balling. Came out and with just flamethrower. I had almost 20 points in the first half. That was the last game. So get those stats and standings up. And just the camaraderie is great. But number one thing, when you get, I'm not a young warthog anymore. I'm not a spring chicken. So the exercise is a beautiful thing and a wonderful thing. And I need to do more and more of that. But as I was saying, came back from the Cape League game, hit the grocery store, had to go ahead and get everything is good here. I'm seeing something on my screen. Okay, it's gone from the screen. And let me just make sure. Okay, the YouTube is on. My Facebook is on and cracking. Go ahead, comment, like, subscribe. I got to make sure I say that. Twitch is going on. Let's bring Twitch over with the rest. And I done did my little intro. It's been about 10 minutes of slice of life stuff. And that's how it is. Slice of life. Everybody's going through. They go through. That's, you know what I mean. I think that's why these online communities. I have my channel. I follow a lot of other people's channels that's doing dynamic things. We're all going through our go through, and this is an opportunity for people to kind of connect. And this is my little time, my little SandCity's time. Do 1 or 2 episodes a week. And we start with the slice of life, and then we're most certainly going to get into a lot of sports stuff to talk about. But yeah, it's a beautiful thing just in terms of what I mean by that in slice of life is, the show is about sports, but it's also just about, just the day-to-day, everyday people. Shout out to Arrested Development, that everyday people side of it. You know what I mean? And so it's always, I enjoy when I have a day and things line up and I say, I'm going to do an episode today. I got a couple things to say and I enjoy doing it. And hopefully people that are participating, watching, find some value in the channel. And hey, if you don't like the slice stuff to start the show, certainly let me know. And I'm still probably going to do it, because you need the intro, that's just, but you can revise it and maybe get more into the sports topics specifically. Okay, so we're going to start off with the Olympics, Team USA itself. But I want to talk about some comments related to Team USA by a new media person that I respect and rock with, the one Mr. Gilbert Arenas. And essentially his comments about the South Sudan team, who almost beat Team USA. And in the previous episode, I made it clear this is before these games kind of stacked up. This is before the scare against Germany. This is before the scare against South Sudan. I think it was after the game against Australia that was close. I made it clear Team USA is in trouble. And they are in trouble, by the way, folks. They are in trouble. Okay, this is not alarmist. They're in trouble. All right, and because if you haven't, and it just, it took the Olympics are where? In Paris, France. What's the second most talented team in the Olympics? By far? That's right, Paris, France. All right, and not only so they got Wemby to deal with, they got Gobert to deal with. They got these 2 young bucks coming up, Sar and how do you pronounce Robochet? Evan Fournier, grizzled veterans. The international game is different, folks. And the continuity is more so for these other teams. Let's put that out there before I get to Gilbert Arenas and what he said and what he shouldn't have said. Meaning these guys that come up for their international team, they've been playing together longer than the team that was just thrown together last summer because LeBron was upset the USA got punked. Let's be clear on this. LeBron built this team, and I respect LeBron for building the team, and he will be the flag bearer tomorrow, which is crazy and a beautiful thing. We'll talk about that. Transcendent. I believe this is his 4th Olympics. Out of this world. Okay, might have been, LeBron, the media mogul, the business maverick. His man is Maverick Carter, but the business visionary. He's a visionary business-wise. I can say that. It's, talk about all the different things that he does. Never mind clutch sports. Change the game. A lot of people mad about that. They can be mad. Step your game up. Change the game in terms of sports. On his way to owning NFL team. Shout out to the Vegas team. When Vegas gets a team, LeBron top of the front of the line to be an owner of that team. All right, all the different ventures, shoes, and you know what I mean. He sees the big picture much more than an athlete, and so I don't know if he envisioned being a flag bearer when he went on social media after USA got embarrassed last year in the World Championship by Germany. But he's most certainly going to be the flag bearer tomorrow. All eyes on him, right? How Jerry Colangelo revolutionized the Olympics. Made it from being a duty to your country that you weren't really enthusiastic about doing to really returning the pride in playing for Team USA. In part, there's a pride aspect, but there's also a self-interest aspect in terms of you're going to grow and build your brand playing for Team USA. Oh, yeah. All those shoes that you want to sell. Oh, yeah. All that merch that you want to sell. That, you know what I mean, on a much smaller level. And we are going to have SandCity shirts in the near future. Speaking of the flag, man. Shout out to the flag, man. Also, shout out to Plenty Sneaks. Shout out to Plenty Sneaks who put together the new logo, which you are going to be seeing on shirts. Finally, stepping my game up a lot bit. Okay, we're going to get some SandCity merchandise. Starting off with the shirts. Tell me what you feel about it. ABC. I'm going to be rocking it proudly because the logo is that fire, that hotness. Appreciate Plenty Sneaks for designing it. And it's just good, you know. You have the show. I follow a lot of very talented CP the franchise, Knicks Fan TV, which is awesome. My New York Knicks champion in the championship conversation 2025. Sorry to say it, Boston Celtics. Not sorry to say it. Knicks right at the top of the line to win a championship 2025. Oh yeah, oh yeah. You know, but Knicks Fan TV, you know, I'm like, my man CP got all Knicks fan, you know what I mean? They all decked out. So we're gonna have some SandCity Sports merch coming up. If you see it and you like it, let me know. You can come get it. It's gonna be a nominal price. I love doing it. But back to LeBron and back to Team USA people, right? Jerry Colangelo, let's return after the USA flamed out in 04 in Athens. I'm dating myself, but I don't care because it was a debacle, and the program was on a decline for years after the Dream Team lost the hunger, lost the passion. People, why would I play for Team USA? You know, when I can be in Ibiza, I can be, you know, in Cabo. That's my summertime. You know what I mean? Everybody wins, you know, but you know, everybody want something for free, right? Everybody got their cups, but they ain't chipped in, right? My old school people, they got their cup, but they ain't done. They ain't chipped in. You heard me? You heard me? My old school people know what I'm talking about. So that was the mindset for Team USA for years. But Jerry Colangelo came in and said, yes, it's duty and it's for your country. And Coach K, being a West Point grad, was able to effectively articulate that to people. Okay, but also you're going to build your brand. All right? The NBA, it's a star-driven league. Okay, and you're going to behave yourself and conduct yourself in a professional manner. Shout out to the late, great David Stern. Because I say so, but, you know, because I say so, but really the primary reason you conduct yourself as a professional is because it's in your self-interest. Shout out to Adam Smith and the Wealth of Nations. For my economists out there, I'm an armchair economist, but you know, your business people out there, Adam Smith, the Wealth of Nations, people act in their own self-interests. So LeBron James, there's a method to this. Yes, I'm going to come back and restore Team USA, and they are in trouble. They're in trouble. I'm sticking with that. Trouble, period. France is, if you thought Spain back in the day with the Gasol brothers, Ricky Rubio, others, tested Team USA, shout out to the Redeem team in 2008. I believe it was also Spain in 2012. Those were tough nip and tuck games. Then Coach K wanted to leave, but they wanted him to come on back, and they got another one in 2016. Then he finally had to bounce. Those were nip and tuck games. Do not sleep on France. I'm not trying to say USA all the way. Go USA, USA. I want USA to get this gold medal like no other. But I'm not out here. There's no coronation. People talking about this is the best team since the Dream Team. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? The spread against, I wish, oh my goodness, my people's out there. I know some people was out there that cashed in on that South Sudan game. Spread was 43. South Sudan was up 14 at the half. Oh, and Luol Deng is near and dear to my heart. Class of 03 at a Blair Academy in New Jersey. The 1 year at Duke. Battling UConn in the Final Four to get to the championship. They lost that Final Four game in the UConn under the leadership of Jim Calhoun. Smacked the taste out of Georgia Tech's mouth. But Luol Deng could have been a one-and-done national champion. Coach K, when Luol Deng got to Duke, and Luol Deng, by the way, same as LeBron. LeBron, number 1. Luol Deng, number 2. Charlie Villanueva, also out of New Jersey. I believe Luol Deng and Charlie Villanueva were at Blair Academy together. Are you kidding me? Talking about preps. I'm almost positive because I don't, you know what I mean? My mind with those type of things, they're the number 2, number 3. Well, that happens, you know, in high school sports. And, you know, people team up. Cooper Flagg was on a ridiculous Montvert team. Cade Cunningham and who was it? Cade Cunningham and Scotty Barnes and a couple others were on the same. RJ Barrett might have been in the mix of that Montvert team. By the way, Montvert coached by Kevin Boyle, who previously was the coach at St. Patrick's, Kyrie Irving's high school basketball coach. Michael Kidd Gilchrist, who didn't work out, but still, Al Harrington, you remember him. Kevin Boyle was Bob Hurley's nemesis. St. Anthony's in Jersey City, St. Pat's in Elizabeth. My Jersey people will remember this. And there were years where these two teams would be number 1, number 2 in the nation, and they would meet in the Catholic League championship, state championship, right? Because New Jersey, right, the Garden State, where I'm proud to be from, the Garden State, it's a tournament of champions. Okay, I have to say New Jersey has, Chicago has the best high school basketball tradition in America. Shout out to Hoop Dreams. Shout out to the Chicago Public League. But New Jersey has the best state tournament in America with their tournament of champions. right? They have all these divisions, Division 1, Division 2, Division 7, Catholic schools over here, charter schools over there, and then in New Jersey, they have a tournament of champions. All the champions meet together for that unified state champion. Massachusetts, we're stepping our game up with our Massachusetts now has one state champion for each. We don't have an Eastern Mass, Central Mass, Western Mass. We got one state championship in Massachusetts, which is correct. I don't think they should have got rid of the sections, which it was tough. In fairness, they getting rid of the sections did make sense because certain conferences, certain sections, i.e. the South, where the Cape is, the South, there was more the preponderance, the number of talented teams was more so in certain regions, specifically the South. So much so that Franklin Panthers, who battled Mansfield in the Hockomock year after year, Franklin moved over to the Central just to get out of the South so that they could, get into the Final Four and get into a state championship. So my chair is creaking a little bit. It is what it is. It is what it is on that. Let me just check to see if I got, a couple of views here and there, just here and there. It is what it is. And okay, appreciate you. I appreciate folks tuning in with me, rocking with me. Comment. Let me know how you feel. Good, bad, indifferent. Appreciate all that. But again, in Massachusetts, in terms of our state tournament, they went to a model where there's just one division. So there's not one division, meaning each division, Division 1, I think there's 6 divisions. It's just one bracket. So what's crazy is that if you don't get home court advantage, and it's almost impossible for our teams out here in the Cape to get home court advantage because of the strength of schedule, power rankings, right? Because there isn't the concentration of high-ranking teams like in your metropolitan centers. So it's difficult for the schools in the suburban and rural areas to move up the power rankings. It's difficult. But, if you get that home court game, and you live on the Cape and you live in Nantucket and you have to play a school in Worcester or a school in Springfield, well, guess what? We'll see you on Friday at 6:00 for that tournament game. So the travel is insane, like insane. And I can say that, it's insane. Because on a Tuesday, on a school night, and this has happened, by the way, you let your school in Bourne, you have to play a school on the New York border all the way across the state. This happened with Upper Cape Tech on the Cape. They had to play. They were the 33rd seed, so they were the 32nd seed got the home court advantage. They were the 33rd seed, so they had to travel all the way across the New York border. Won that game, come all the way back. Then they had to travel all the way back across the state to Taconic to play the number 1 seed, which, number 1, they called a 30 piece, as I remember. Or they might have made it, but you understand what I'm saying. Then they had to drive so we're talking about like 3-hour drives one way to play a high school tournament game. That's outrageous. But it did, it is, I don't know. Got rid of the sections. But then, so teams have more of an opportunity, but you have an opportunity to travel 7 miles, and the families have, it's the families too. That's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. I have to travel 7 hours. Are you kidding me? 7 hours to see my son or daughter play in their final high school or not even their final game. Even, it's an important game. So I'm going to go, but I have to travel 7 hours on a weekday. That's outlandish. I don't care how you slice it. So we went from one extreme to another, and we got to find a balance. Back to LeBron, folks, giving you a little bit of the high school sports. Whether you, I don't know. Again, let me know. I'm just breaking it down. LeBron forming Team USA. Team USA being something that all of our best and brightest, our best athletes want to participate in. The team is loaded, and that's where I credit Jerry Colangelo and now Grant Hill in terms of completely changing the, instead of being a duty that you took upon yourself begrudgingly. Now, as we talked about previously, and we'll touch on it a little bit, right? Shout out to Jaylen Brown, who should be on the team. Now, people are highly offended when they're not put on the team. Versus, again, early 2000s, it was like, I'll pass. Almost like how football players see the Pro Bowl. So that's a credit to Colangelo, credit to Grant Hill. All that being said, this team is we have our A team for the Olympics, and then nobody wants to play in the World Championships, right? It's not a through line as much as it was with Coach K. Or your A team for the Olympics, and then like your 1A team for the World Championships. Like Kevin Durant and Carmelo Anthony on that Redeem Team journey, they would play in the World Championships. And like a guy like a James Harden would play in, and that would get him in shape, and it was benefiting you. And then obviously the connections and people in the the hopping teams, that's a whole other component of it. But it was preferred. I want to be spending the summer with Team USA, building up my global brand, building up myself in terms of training, coming into the season ready to go. And it just kind of being a through line. All that, right? Team USA is in trouble because the team is new, not much experience playing together. The world has caught up. We already know that. You already know who Giannis is. You know who Luka is, even though Slovenia is not in the Olympics, which is crazy. We know who Nikola is. But these other teams, they've played together longer. They've played together longer. And this Team USA, it's a collection of aged, I'm not going to say ancient, aged stars, checking, okay, we good. Stars that are long in the tooth, i.e. LeBron, i.e. AD. It was brought to my attention that Anthony Davis is only 30 years old. I didn't realize that. I look at Anthony Davis like he's old school Jenkins. I look at Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is only 30 years old. Okay, but in basketball years, I mean, he's been playing basketball. And Anthony Davis was like the Christian Laettner on that Redeem Team. If we go back to it, as I recall, when he was the brow. But he's long in the tooth. He's not, he's up there. Kevin Durant clearly up there. Joel Embiid, people in Philadelphia very nervous. Okay, so you got and Joel Embiid's younger, but he's older. He has an older body. So you got this. So my point with that is LeBron is not closing out when they crack the paint, right? How teams are going to play. They're going to get in the paint and they're just going to start zinging it around, making like 4 or 5 skip passes to find that open shot, putting one person in a situation where they have to guard 2 defenders, right? That's what's going to happen. Now, Drew Holiday is going to make that, that's why a guy like, even though Derek White is nowhere, he's not Jaylen Brown, and Jaylen Brown's a good defender, and he's young and he's explosive. So, but you see what I'm saying? The Drew Holiday can make multiple closeouts. Jason Tatum can make multiple closeouts. Anthony Edwards, no problem. Tyrese Halliburton, a little bit injured, banged up in the playoffs, but he's young and he can do those things. Bam Adebayo coming from the Heat tradition, no problem. So you got your young Lions on one side, and then your old school Jenkins, your old timers on the other side. And so there it's an Anthony, like it's my, you know what I mean? There has to be like a meeting and a melding. Steph Curry's not closing out 3 and 4 times. He's not doing it. So that's where Team USA is going to, they've consistently, again, respect, respect. You know what I mean? Like the shout, respect to whoever was, put their faith in South Sudan, 43-point spread and nowhere near that. Team USA beat it by 1 or 2. 15, 16-point spread against Germany, I believe it was, a game decided by like 4 or 5. So the foolishness about this team being the dream team, just get that out of there. They haven't blown a team out yet. And it doesn't look like they're going to blow any teams out. No 30, 40 pieces to speak, not even a 20 piece, not even a 10 piece to speak of. All right? And then stylistically, Steve Kerr and this, they got to get, because guess what? I don't care how good of friends with LeBron AD is or how big of an ego Embiid is. One of those two is going to have to go to the bench and stay there in favor of the players that can play at the energy and pace that's going to be necessary to be successful. That's the issue. Joel and these guys have supersized ego. Who's going to be the Larry Bird or the Magic Johnson, i.e. the dream team? Like Larry Bird says, young guys, you got this. I'll come in, do my little bit, but I'm not stressing about minutes or anything or having to be out there because, Tatum, Booker, Bam, Drew, Derek, these are going to be the energizers that they're going to need when Steph, LeBron, Joel, Anthony, Kevin are not going to be willing or even able to play, at that high pace energy. So they're going to give up. These teams are going to just scheme past and, pass them to death to get an open 3, and and they're going to make those open 3s. So right? Some of those old school needs to be a cheerleader. One of those, and it's not LeBron, obviously, so LeBron's gonna have to be out there. But Joel and I think more so. And Anthony Davis, even though he's injury prone, known for his defense, and Joel has played a little bit better defense, but it's my understanding in the earlier games that his defense, particularly in pick and roll, was non-existent because you can't expect it to be existent because he's playing on half of one leg in the first place. So Joel, you're behind might have to take a back seat, and you want to play for Team USA. You don't want to play for Cameroon or France or whatever. And I respect now. If Joel Embiid had played for France, now maybe part of the reason why he didn't want to play for France, even though, oh my goodness, that would have been crazy. But to have Wemby, and they could have made it work. I don't care. They could have made it work. Wemby, Gobert, and Joel on France. Oh my goodness. Joel Embiid, I personally am saddened that people in Cameroon, they've been offended and said what they said, and that's out of pocket, honestly. Because he has, your dual citizenship, and it's not to say he doesn't do other things for the country, as many NBA players do when they go back home to their home country. So a little bit out of pocket there. That's just my feelings on it. Not playing for your Olympic team, but still, doing a lot for the country and these initiatives and NBA in Africa, so on and forth. Team USA, that's when we get into pool play. Okay? So LeBron, yes, he needs to be out there. Steph Curry, yes, needs to be out there. Pick between AD and Joel Embiid. And Kevin Durant, frankly, he's not healthy. So but KD is this mercurial guy, right? KD's a mercurial guy. Reporting on KD is that, he's a chemistry killer. We already know that the sensitivity, and if KD happened to see this, that he claps back at people, which I kind of, but you don't need to punch down. I get it, but then I don't get it. KD's all the time punching down at people and going back and forth, which is what a heckler wants in the first place. And this is not, because that's not how I get down. But all I'm saying is that, KD is going to need to be that chemistry and, clap, type of person in this Olympics. Because he's not healthy and because he hasn't played this, and he's not going to be, so come in and get 4 or 5 minutes, get hot, hit a couple threes, get a couple rebounds, then you're done. You're not leading this team, KD, like you led, and KD was huge in 2008. Go back and watch, particularly against Spain. I remember he hit 3 after 3. He just got hot in that game and was smoking. And that was when it was crazy. Like KD was, where again, you're on the same court as LeBron. You're on the same court as Kobe. You're on the same court as Dwayne Wade. But KD was the hot man in that game, and I credit that team but we're going to go to the hot man because he just couldn't miss. That's not going to be the 2024 Olympics for KD. He could get hot, you know what I mean? But in crunch time, he needs to be on the bench. I said it. Steph needs to be out there. LeBron needs to be out there. Anthony Edwards needs to be out there. I favor Bam at the 5 over Embiid and Anthony Davis. Undersized, but over-energized. And then I would have Tatum at the 4. Curry, Ant-Man, Tatum, Bron at the 4, Bam at the 5. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then if I'm looking to my bench, right? If I'm looking to but even in that lineup, I said Curry, right? Curry and Bron, right? I like that. Curry, Bron, Ant-Man. Ant-Man's going to play D. Tatum's going to play D. Bam's going to defend. You're not getting much defense from Steph and Bron. You just know this is a fact. So you're not. So period. When I go to my bench and Steph comes out, that's when it's Jrue Holiday time. It's Jrue Holiday time again for the energy. Steph for Jrue Holiday, Ant-Man, Booker time. Right? Bron and KD can go off and on if they want, but it's not going to be, and that's like LeBron might think, and if he does, he's wrong, and Team USA is going to flat out lose, period, end of story. They're going to lose, period, end of story. Period, end of story. If you try to throw all the old timers out there at once. If you try to throw AD, LeBron, Durant, Curry, and then just one young energizer, you're going to lose. Period. End of story. So let's get that. That's how I feel about it. We can come back. If I'm wrong, I will say I'm wrong. But the numbers are not lying. The numbers aren't lying. And Steve Kerr is just trying to get his lineups correct. Baloney. Get his lineup correct against Australia. Get his lineup correct against Germany. These are teams that don't even have an NBA All-Star. France has a couple. Okay? And you might even get in trouble playing against a team with just one transcendent player, i.e. a Greece. You might even get in trouble in that game with a bunch of worker bees, NBA level players, and then people you never done heard of before, but that are playing that freaking Energizer Bunny, pace, space, zing, zing. And again, we know what Mike Tyson said, folks. We know what Mike Tyson said. Everybody got a plan. You got that plan. Yeah, you got a plan. Until what? Until that uppercut catch you. And then all bets are off. So guess what? When Team USA, nobody roots for Goliath. Shout out to the late, great Wilt Chamberlain. Nobody roots for Goliath. So what happens when Team USA is down 7 at the half? What happens when Team USA is down 7 at the half? Okay, the lives are going well. A couple views, I appreciate. Respect on the YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you. I appreciate you very much, right? What happens when Team USA is down 7 at the half? Okay? We know some of these guys, their track record when things go wrong. Huh? And Coach K is not on that bench. Okay? Steve Kerr's got some answering to do after the debacle in the World Championship. So Steve, and this is a point that was made, that, you know what I mean? Even though Steph Curry's your boy, and then, you know what I mean? You're going to have to make some hard decisions. Like, Steph, you know what I mean? I'm going with Jrue Holiday based on this lineup. And you got to set the bench because you can't guard nobody. Or LeBron, I'm going with Anthony Edwards in this lineup because you can't guard nobody. There's some tough decisions that's going to have to be made in some tight moments. So, yes, that's Team USA. We're going to get back to Gilbert Arenas in terms of what I think. What I need to see from Team USA in the early, if I don't see a blowout in the first 2 games, then the medal round is going to be very close. And in a close game, especially if it's France, this is for, you know what I mean? I need to see some mollywhopping. I need to see some 40 pieces with the extra sauce, with the special sauce. You know what I mean? Now I mean, when you get in that good barbecue, I need a 40 piece with the special sauce from Team USA. That's what I need. That's what I need for me not to have reservations that when it gets to the medal round, that in a close game, this team will not falter, splinter, collapse. That's how I'm feeling. Okay, now Gilbert Arenas. Respect Gil's Arena. And again, just kind of following, I don't play a hate, I congratulate. This is my passion project. I enjoy doing it. I'm going to continue doing it. It is what it is. I make it the best I can be. And guess what? I might not be the next Stephen A. Smith. And we will talk about some of the movement that's going on in sports media. So what? I want to do the best that I can. I want to provide takes. I want to bring something new into the conversation. If I'm not doing that, please let me know. If, you know what I mean, the silence might be indication I'm not doing that. People just ignore you, fine. But I'm going to continue to try to, come up with, something that's distinctive, and then just put on something that's, enjoyable and engaging and yada, yada, yada. Okay? All that being said, how Gilbert Arenas has kind of grown, right? Because it started off with No Chill Gil, which had, some bubblings on YouTube, and then he was doing a lot on social media that you would see No Chill with Gilbert Arenas. And he had a partner that, they do interviews, and he got some really good interviews, did outstanding on No Chill Gil with Atope. the founder and director of the Compton Magic, a team, shout out to Evan Mobley, right? Amongst others, Compton Magic. They got their young guy, forget his name, but he's there. They got a top 10 guy coming up through the ranks, so you're going to be hearing from very soon. And so his interview on No Chill with Gil, or No Chill, I think it was No Chill, was great, right? And so that's how Arena started, and he's, because again, Gilbert's show, you see a completely different side of Gilbert in his new podcasting that you did not see when he's getting booted from the NBA for guns in the locker room, right? The player whose career was cut short by injuries because he was on a, coming out of Golden State, second round pick, and he earned that max deal in Washington. And then unfortunately, he can never stay healthy. And that team where the owner spent, but unfortunately made the wrong investments in Caron Butler, in Antoine Jameson, and in Gilbert Arenas, and they were just never on the court at the same time. And it is never. And then, of course, he did not conduct himself with professionalism. He tested the angel of Stern, the late great David Stern. And that's a losing proposition. David Stern, who transformed the NBA, took it from a league that was too black, too violent, too infused with drugs, tape delayed games. Okay. And under David Stern's leadership, cleaned up, talks about with Bob Lanier, cleaned up the NBA, tackled the drug problem, took care of the culture problem on the court in terms of fights all the time into the stands. And yes, we had the Malice in the Palace, but you know what I mean? From where it was in the 80s to through the 90s, and then, the Knicks and the Heat and those rivalries, to the culture now where you almost never have these all-out, fisticuffs. Yeah. And players realize that, not good for your brand, not good for your body, all the rest of that stuff. Yeah, that's David Stern. So by the time Gilbert comes into his ascension in the mid 2000s, he done been through 20 years of this. So he's not hearing anything from you. And Gilbert, was in a mindset, David Stern tell me, okay, I can have no guns in the locker room. Next day in the warm up, we're gonna do this, because I can do what I want to do. And then, his career was not very long after that. Right? The Gilbert Arenas that we see on his platforms, much more insightful, introspective, and there is almost a catharsis, in that, he's kind of reflecting on the things that he did. And he has a son that's coming up through the ranks, so you can, who's a top player prospect, right? And he's kind of there's a reflectiveness, and so I am appreciative, and just how he breaks things down from the player perspective. Obviously, there's all these stories, right? Come for the sport, stay for the story. Shout out to Uncle Shannon. Nightcap, I might be going up against Nightcap right now. I may be going. Let me see. Let me go over here to YouTube. Am I going up against Nightcap? Is Nightcap back? Because I can't do much against Nightcap. So Nightcap is not, but Nightcap is a Thursday, but we don't have the NFL on Thursday. Nightcap was back on Monday, so Nightcap is back in the mix. I can't, you know what I mean? And Unk. Speaking of, I'm eating my garden salad. Unk is in. We're gonna talk a little bit about sports media landscape and how things, right? Sometimes that redirection can be a blessing you didn't know. Sometimes that correction can be a blessing that you didn't know. You wonder why you're going through certain things. How where Unk was last year and where Unk is this year. Okay, so I had to let me take in all of that perspective, because I done had some situations, but Shannon Sharp right now, in terms of being kind of at a low place last year, this time not having like a company job. This is before First Take, and then having his own Club Shay Shay, but then not and to now where he is with the company job at ESPN. Rumblings that he may come into a bigger role depending on how dominoes fall at ESPN. Has Club Shay Shay, which won a number of Wemby's most viewed episode, top podcast, yada yada, and he's only been doing it for a handful of years. And Nightcap is right behind it in the night space. and he looks like he's ready to go back and play tight end for the Denver Broncos if they need him. So shout out to Shannon Sharp. And Gilbert goes on nightcap on Wednesday. So my point with Gilbert is respect to kind of how he built it up to get to Gil's Arena with my man King Josiah, who is a self-made man, social media made man. The memes that he would put out there and just constantly in the mix. And now, so I'm happy with Gil's Arena for him as somebody that was, and he would just have the funny, stuff that would just have Twitter going bananas. He would be going viral all the time with just hot takes, and so, so Gil was like, we need this guy under Dog Sports. We need this guy. So they, two kind of, even though Gil, we knew who Gil was because he was an NBA player, King Josiah, people got to know him. And so Gil's Arena now, it's a thing. Has an audience, and, he's built it up from just not much of anything. So I, all of that, tip my hat. Now, and this is where, in the podcast, everybody, you need something to stick out. You need something to go viral. You need a take. There's so many talented people, commenting on this thing. How can my take be distinctive and engaging and entertaining from something that somebody else said? All right. And what he said about the South Sudanese team and the manner in which he said it was disrespectful, was highly offensive, it was inaccurate, all of those things. And, I haven't, so, yeah. Now, I haven't, I don't know if he's specifically apologized or revised or amended his statement. I hope so. And that's, that's another thing that you can kind of like within, like no culture is monolithic. Like, and then there's African Americans, like we say, Irish Americans, Italian, and then there's people from Africa. There's people from Italy. There's people from Ireland. So that's another divide. Yes, Joel Embiid is an African American in a different sense that I'm an African American. Joel Embiid from Africa, me from New Jersey, and now here on the Cape. So just a number of intersections and lines that were crossed and that need to be mended. Again, I haven't heard from Gilbert. I respect and I'm proud of Luol Deng coming out and his statements. Talked a little bit about Luol Deng. Wenyen Gabriel is a product, of the Commonwealth. Wenyen Gabriel, who played for the Massachusetts Rivals, then went on to Kentucky. Wenyen Gabriel was a freshman at Kentucky with De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk and Bam Adebayo and started on that team when they lost a barn burner to North Carolina team that could have won a national championship that year. Okay. Then he played his second year at Kentucky, was done with Kentucky, went undrafted in the NBA, worked his way onto NBA rosters over the last few years. I think he was overseas this year. But Wenyen Gabriel is one of our homegrown here in the Commonwealth. Shout out to the Mass Rivals. Played on one of the NEPSEC schools in the region, just outside of the All-American game. So, super, thrilled to see Wenyen have his moment for South Sudan. And let's get back on track, right? You don't have to be disrespectful. You don't have to dehumanize folks. To go viral. Now, of course, again, win at all costs. Just be first. Who cares who you hurt, how you say it? Just win. Get the clicks, right? And I'm kind of paraphrasing. Denzel Washington had some of you might know about how people can just free market. I can just do whatever I want. There's no rules. And this stuff, frankly, our corporations conduct themselves. on another note, but I just think Gilbert, that's not how he built himself up to be where he is. And so he can make amends and just get back to the rising tide that he's on, that I and many other people respect. Okay. Again, we don't play hate, we congratulate. Right, Shannon Sharp, who was in no man's land last year at this particular point in time. Okay. No man's land, and he'll even admit it. Made the connection with the volume. Shout out to Colin Cat. Speaking of people that's about to secure a bag and that's ahead of the curve, and that reminds me, because I respect Cowherd, I respect J Mac on that show. J Mac is another self-made man with the big lead, and with the big lead's actually coming back. Big lead is coming back, which is exciting. Okay. And just it's a number of things but starting with Shannon, connected with the volume. The volume has been ahead of this podcast and this change in the media landscape. They've been at the forefront of it. A. B, when you look at Club Shay Shay, it's the volume, it's DraftKings, it's the volume, and it's Shannon, who has his own production company. Respect. And so from humbler beginnings to now climbing towards the top of that mountain. Respect. And then once you get to that top of that mountain where the Skip Bayless is, yes, Skip Bayless is, on Mount Olympus when it comes to sports media personalities. We're going to talk a little bit about Skip because there's a number of dominoes that are shifting in the sports media landscape that's interesting and fascinating, and how people are going to reposition themselves. And it appears that there's more than enough to go around, just like in the world of youth sports. Just like in the world of youth sports, there's more than enough to go around. Opportunities for growth. But Gilbert, you don't have to be the shock jock type of way. Make amends and move on and keep building up your brand in the right way, and come through with content that's engaging, innovative, informative with former players, and it's good, and it's good for everybody. And stay away from the hateration and the hot takes and the punches above below the belt, particularly for fellow alumni in the NBA and people and projects that are just the NBA Africa. Again, all the talking about Joel Embiid, talking about right how sports brings people together, provides economic opportunity, gives people passion, purpose, connectedness. And now it's not everything. It's not the number. It's not all be the end all be all. Okay, but the South Sudanese team is an example of how sports can positively impact a society and correct some of those fundamental Maslow's hierarchy of needs things, right? They don't have a gym in the country. This is a war-torn region. Talk about ugly Americans, pampered Americans, patrician, viewpoints. Like those are some of the lines that were crossed unnecessarily. Those fine lines. Like, yes, we all, you know what I mean? But a lot of the things that we go through are first world problems, not second world problems, not third world problems, first world problems. Didn't get the exact job that I wanted when I wanted it. This person didn't respond to me, when I wanted them to, how I wanted them to. I mean, these things are issues, but country does not have a gymnasium or a facility for this team to practice in. Let's keep it. Let's keep those things in mind, okay? And come back and get it right, and do what we need to do. Okay, I'm gonna go over into football, some football things, and then I'll finish off with what I see, what's going on in the world of media. Need to get more baseball going on. I'm privy to baseball, but this is kind of like the dog days, right? It's beautiful to go to these games. It's beautiful to participate and just be at the ballpark in July, especially in New England. I don't, the humidity is the humidity. It is what it is. Okay, where am I going to be in January? In a room, cold and grumpy. Where am I going to be in March? In a room, cold, wet, and grumpy. Okay, so give me this humidity. Give me this warm weather. That, you know what I mean? I will take it. These summer days, we got to just store it up. A lot of things going on. I get all of that. And, there's still business straight through the summer. I get it. But I cannot let the summer pass me by without being grateful and joyful and just appreciative. So, yes, beautiful thing. This chair is creaking. You can hear the chair. Hope it's not that big of a deal. Try, I lean. I can kind of the noise reduction. When I do the editing and effects, I do put a little bass music on. People say I got to lower the volume. I will be lowering the volume. I've lowered the volume, but when I do my edited takes, my clips, there's captions there as well. So that's how I feel. If you can't, you hear me, my little kind of high pitched voice. I need my bass music. So the bass music might hopefully get rid of the chair that's creaking a little bit. Let me just do a quick what? I appreciate YouTube. Couple people checking in with me, rocking with me, no comment. Hey, Team USA will win. Thank you, Dre. Appreciate that comment. I see you. Appreciate you. All right. Dre, I'm sorry for the delay. I'm going through. Appreciate the commentary there. Yes, Team USA all the way. My patriotism is not lacking in any way, shape, or form. But please, people, acknowledge, it's going to be all love tomorrow with LeBron being the flag bearer. It's all love. It's a beautiful thing. And I believe Serena might be in the mix. Knock it out. But Team USA, you need to get on your P's and Q's. I'm not, it's the Olympics and there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on nationally. There's a lot, but specific to basketball, people in the basketball community, if you're not talking about Team France, you ought to be talking about this team. Okay? They are a problem. All right? And then there's the international style. So I need a blowout from Team USA. I need some soul food, good down home fried chicken, even though I can't do fried chicken like I used to. Your boy, and I haven't even been doing my push-ups lately. I can't even. Usually I get my 10 push-ups in a day. I do my push-up, so at least my upper body, you know what I'm saying? But the fried chicken, it's hitting your boy different. Hitting your boy different than it used to. But you see what I'm saying? That fried chicken, you get it up in you. You know what I mean? With the special sauce. I need a 40-piece with special sauce from Team USA. That's what I need. I need a 40-piece with special sauce. Please. If I don't see it, trouble. Period. They're in trouble. Okay, but thank you, Dre, for commenting. USA all the way. Let's move over to the world of football. Okay, and there's a couple. I'm going to touch on the 49ers, and I'm touching on the Patriots, and then we'll get to a couple in between. 49ers, and this Brandon Aiyuk beef, I do not understand it. I don't understand why they're taking a hard line. With him, he leads the team in receptions. Aiyuk, I know they put people at different places. So is he in the backfield? Is he on the slot? They move pieces around. So who the heck is a running back? Who's a slot? Who's a tight end? I don't know. Football people kind of let me know. I do know that Brock Purdy's a system quarterback. That's what I do know. I know Brock Purdy's a system quarterback. I know that. I know Brock Purdy does not have the core talent. Brock Purdy is no Tom Brady. Right? Yeah. I mean, obviously he's not the GOAT and the greatest of all time, but Tom Brady, Michigan, it was his background. Michigan. Tom Brady, well, obviously a 6th-round pick. Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. Brock Purdy does not have the quote-unquote upside, the quote-unquote, explosiveness and physical attributes of, let's say, a Trey Lance, but all of the intangibles, right? He has those and so on and forth. But the idea that the San Francisco 49ers are going to cater to Brock Purdy but take a hard line with Brandon Aiyuk is preposterous to me. What are you doing? And that's like the whole Shanahan-Belichick connection, because we know how that served Bill Belichick once Tom Brady left town. And I need to talk about Bill Belichick as well. I'm going to talk about Bill Belichick. I'm going to talk about the Patriots. I'm talking about Bill Belichick. He's out of pocket right now. Bill Belichick needs to get back to football. And we're going to speak more on that. But the 49ers, I'm not, like Brandon Aiyuk, like this feud back and forth. First of all, like I'm kind of understanding, because I know running backs are being disrespected. to the point that Saquon took his talents to Philadelphia. Okay, Saquon took his. So I know that running backs are not receiving based on the analytics, yada yada yada. And we know that football means not for long. And these players have the highest risk of injury, the least long-term security. So, but Aiyuk, he leads the team in reception, like receiving statistics. So why is he being, Whether he's out of the back, why I don't know. You wouldn't treat Justin Jefferson like this. You wouldn't treat, you know what I'm saying, my man from Cincinnati, whose name escapes me, unfortunately. Joe Burrow's homeboy from LSU. You wouldn't treat, right, Stephon Diggs and him going to Houston. I'm not. Why is Brandon Aiyuk being treated like this? When he's not like a pure stand in the backfield, 3 yards in a cloud of dust running back. That's what I'm. And then Brock Purdy, who's obviously Brock Purdy's not going to make any waves. You know what I mean? And frankly, because he's not going to make waves and he's not going to throw. He's going to be happy. You people. Patrick Mahomes, when Kansas City won that first Super Bowl, and he took that 10-year where people were furious deal, with salary approaching $50 million. And people were saying, why is Patrick Mahomes doing this? He needs to get top dollar. He is saturating the market. People talking at school about my man, Jalen Brunson. We'll talk about that as well. But people came at Patrick Mahomes crazy when he signed that deal after they won their first Super Bowl. He's won a couple Super Bowls since then. 8. Now, one was cheating because that wasn't pass interference with the Eagles. That was some, I can't call, that was some stuff. That was no pass interference. How that went down. Shame on some people. And I'm a referee. Shame on some people to have that game decided that way. Even if the flag was thrown, if I'm the head official, we're going to talk about that. Hell to the no. We're not deciding a Super Bowl on a 50-50 call. No. On a technicality. No. That was shameful. And I'm not calling out anybody specifically. It was one call with the referees. Let me get my screen back. My screen's good. Okay. The referees could have, that was shameful to decide a Super Bowl on that. There's no two ways about it. Speaking of which, in the Super Bowl, Roger Goodell put it out there for the NBA for the draft, which is bananas. Super Bowl is going to fall on the Sunday before President's Day, so Monday's a holiday. Shout out to Roger Goodell. That's crazy. Not for people to go overboard, but you know what I mean. To have the Super Bowl right on a holiday, so we have it's a 3-day weekend, and they take the extra week, which was a change, right? To have because it used to be Super Bowl used to be the next week. Now that's ridiculous. Give team time to rest. Give us time to build it up. Okay. And have it on President's Day. Wonderful. 49ers, what are you doing? If Patrick Mahomes can take less money up front, meaning Patrick Mahomes signed that deal, he's able to go back and revise it based on the needs of the team. So I get the most money, but I'm not Patrick Mahomes, I'm trying to win Super Bowls. So if you're going to take away $5 million, maybe $10 million in salary, but we win Super Bowls. So the rise, I'm making back that $10 million plus with the winning. If Patty Mahomes can do that, then Brock Purdy can certainly do that so that Brandon Aiyuk can get the money that he deserves so he can be happy so you can move forward. That's what I'm not understanding. Whereas it seems they want to take this, get tough because we're the 49ers and I'm Kyle Shanahan and this is our system and you can go elsewhere. So how'd that help them before they got Christian McCaffrey? With that elsewhere talk. How'd that help them in the first half against the Lions? Before people, and it wasn't Dan Campbell, it was wide receivers missing wide open passes. It wasn't him going for fourth down. It was players not executing wide open passes. Wide open. I expect my number one receiver to be able to catch open passes. That's what caused the Lions to collapse. With a San Francisco team that was loaded. And now you want to be less loaded, when you could keep things going. So 49ers, I'm not give Aiyuk his money. If Brock Purdy is not Joe Burrow. Brock Purdy is not Trevor Lawrence. Brock Purdy is not, I'm not even going to use my homeboy's name. And you know what I mean? He is Kyle Shanahan's understudy. That's who Brock Purdy is. That's who he is. Okay. Brandon Aiyuk is, a dude. Okay. So don't leave well enough alone. If somebody has to take less, Brock Purdy, you take less. And, range in the contract where you can get it back, whatever the case may be. That's my take on situation going on in the 49ers. John Lynch knows his business. Kyle Shanahan, like that, I imagine they're a highly efficient, well-run organization. I imagine that they're gonna eventually get it right. I didn't realize the Patriots only won 4 games last year. Okay, so Gerard Mayer is gonna come up in here and he's gonna get things right. Meaning, right? What does that mean? Get things right. So before such a low number, though, I wasn't aware it had gotten that bad. That the Patriots only won 4 games in the AFC East. And the Jets won 7 games. Goodness. Jets are winning 7 games with Zach Wilson. The Patriots only won 4 games last year. No. No, Patriots are going to win at least 8. Patriots are going 8-9 this year. I said it. Patriots are going to go 8-9 this year. Bit of a homer pick, right? Because, right, Aaron Rodgers should play more than 4 snaps for this season. So the Jets are going to be back in the mix. Miami's at the top of the division. They're on an upward swing. The Bills, even though with the Bills, I do think it's less is more because Stephon Diggs wasn't happy there. He was beefing, you know what I mean? And, so there was rumbling. So I'm not, with the Bills, they're going to, but they'll play their right, the way that they play, and Sean McDermott has proven. So they're going to be in the mix. So the AFC lease is no more. Patriots are going to finish last. How the Patriots, but I'm saying 8 wins, but they're going to finish. So where are the wins going to come from? Okay, maybe let me come 7. Let me come off 8 and say the Patriots are going to win 7. They're going to go 7-10. They're going to go 7-10. But they're going to be competitive 7-10. They're going to be competitive. There's not going to be any of this, and I think Gerard Mayer is going to get through to these guys. Jacoby Brissett's going to be, but I'm picking them for 7. The haters that want to get on Gerard Mayo, but I just forewarning to the haters. The Patriots won 4 freaking games last year. For the haters out there that have an issue, that want to have an issue with the guy after the guy. Well, the guy won 4 freaking games last year. So let's just remember that. And I think Gerard Mayo is the right pick. I think he's going to get this franchise rolling right. I like Alex Van Pelt coming from the Browns and what he did with Joe Flacco. And, Deshaun Watson needs to get his act together. No reason he should be playing that poorly. I know he missed a lot of football, but still, they invested in him. But Van Pelt, and Deshaun was, but they made the playoffs with Flacco. I believe they won a playoff game. Okay. So he's gonna coach up Drake May. Gerard Mayo handled the defensive side of the ball, and his team's gonna be competitive. They're gonna be together. The collapse of the dynasty is over. When things, like they say, Tom Izzo, the highs are very high and the lows are very low. So the Patriots went all the way to the top and they fell all the way to the bottom. Okay. And now we're trying to just build it back up, and Gerard Mayo is going to do that. Patriots 7 wins and competitive games and rebuilding the culture. The AFC is a monster, though. The AFC is a monster. That's the other thing. I'm hopeful for, we done talked about the AFC East. Let's go to the North. Baltimore, going nowhere. Cincinnati, Smoking Joe is back. Pittsburgh, now Mike Tomlin, he gonna be over 500, and he adds options at quarterback. And Cleveland was 11-6 last year with injuries, getting Chubb back at some point. The creepy quarterback, Deshaun Watson, I stole that from Ben Maller. Apologies, respect to Ben. So they're not going anywhere. AFC South, Houston is on a come up. Jaguars with Trevor Lawrence is on a come up. Indianapolis with their quarterback in the second year, and the Titans can take a step back. We know the defending champions are going nowhere. The Chargers are going to take a big step forward with the new coach, and he's going to bring them right. Denver Broncos, the AFC is a monster. AFC is a monster. 7 wins for the Patriots. Okay. I respect Gerard. He's going to get this thing moving right. The haters, you're going to have, I'm coming at you, though. I'm coming at those that want to throw some subliminals out about Gerard, man. I look forward to coming at you. You can come at me, and we're going to keep it above the belt. But I think this was the right hire, and I'm just really excited for him and excited to get this thing back. But, all things come to an end. All things come to an end. Okay? And Bill Belichick, he's an all-time great coach. son of a coach. He came up under an all-time great coach in Parcells. And so Gerard Mayo is not, it's different for him. He doesn't have the background that Bill Belichick did when and again, Bill Belichick, right? Those years under Parcells, then he went to Cleveland, right? Then he came back and was a special consultant when the Patriots all of a sudden went to the Super Bowl. And Bill Belichick's not the offensive coordinator, not the defensive coordinator. He's just a special consultant, and that Patriots team goes to the Super Bowl and gets it done. And then there was issues. Parcells really shouldn't have left, but he did. Whatever. And then Bill Belichick, and they go back. He goes back, and then he comes back to the Patriots. So Bill Belichick had such a long career before he became the guy. So it's just Gerard Mayo doesn't have anywhere near that background. But in my view, he's going to develop himself up into a competent, successful NFL coach. I think I like to see. I'm picking him to be like a Mike Vrabel type of coach. And Tennessee shouldn't have got rid of Mike Vrabel. But that's how I see Gerard Mayo playing out. Okay, over to Bill Belichick. Right, and I'm on the Cayman Islands. Right. So Bill Belichick has the house in Nantucket, so he's around. Matter of fact, I was over on Nantucket this winter doing a ball game, and I happened to see a buddy of mine, and he was like, "Yeah, I just saw Belichick walking down the street." So you can, it's crazy. Sometimes he flies. You can fly over, right, from the mainland over to Nantucket, take the 10-minute flight. But sometimes, it's like, Bill, I don't know if he took. I don't know if he's such a normal guy. He would take the shout out to Highline, take the Highline ferry. As you see him on just a quick Belichick story. I was over because they used to fly us over the referee, which is super cool. But then we take this fast boat, which is that's it's not as cool as flying over because it's 10 minutes per boat, and I don't have those G5 clearances, so that was like a treat for me. But when I first started officiating, that's how they and then it changed and whatever. But I was over at the airport where renting a car. My car was in the shop, whatever the case may be, and they were talking. He's like, "Yeah." So Belichick, and if you're again, this is a local story, but Hyannis Airport, it's a small airport, and the seating section for the planes is just you're getting your car here. The seating section is like right there. It's a stone throw away, and it's just not that whole and it's just not that many people in there. So they were like, "Yeah." So Belichick was here whenever he was whenever he was there. And he's just sitting there by himself. And so people like, "Oh, you can see it's Belichick, but nobody's bothering him, whatever." And so there was a guy there with his son, and the son's like, "Wow, that's Bill Belichick." And the dad's like, "Hey, go over to Bill Belichick and ask him for his autograph." So little Tyler went up to Bill Belichick, asked him for his autograph, and Bill wasn't having none of it. He was like, "No, not even for the kids, no." Bill shut it down. So that's the, how, I guess he walks around Nantucket with his cut up hoodies on and, he looks curmudgeonly. Now, Bill has a lot of personality, and he's a funny guy and all the rest of that stuff. All I'm saying is this. Bill needs to get back to football. The storylines and the narratives about Bill Belichick, you know what I mean? Now, granted, he has the right to be who he wants to be. He's Bill Belichick. And far be it from me to cast aspersions on, you know what I mean? But, I feel like, and you can only, the paparazzi are going to find you wherever they're going to find you. So I don't think Bill is looking for the spotlight. I think it's super cool how he was a part of the Tom Brady roast and he was a part of Tom Brady's ceremony going into the Hall of Fame, and he's doing these certain but he should be on an NFL sideline this year. And he should be on an NFL sideline next year. And if he does not get, I think that's crazy that Bill Belichick would not get another opportunity after he's coaching the Patriots. I hope he changes or amends how he does things so he can get another opportunity, so he can try to catch Don Shula for the all-time most wins, which is what he wants to do. I'm flabbergasted that there wasn't a continuity going from one thing to the next. You know what I mean? Because he's no spring chicken. He's up there in years. right? So he should be on a sideline this year. And I don't know how that went down. Whereas he took a hard, you know what I mean? I feel like concessions could have been made, and the way that the Patriots dynasty collapsed, he was kind of in no place to make concessions because he's defending the Patriot way and yada yada yada, and he's certainly taking a lot of flack. So when a team says, "Bill, we need you to give on this," he wasn't really in the right mindset coming, fresh off of the disaster, which was the season and the collapse of the dynasty, to say to that team, something, you're right, I will take less. Or he's not taking less money. I will give up, be willing to do things in the modern way versus having all the control. Because the bottom line is he's not going to have all the control anywhere to get his next opportunity. That's the bottom line. And so it's unfortunate that he has to sit out a year when he needs this time to be on the sidelines. But all I'm saying is he needs to be like Max Kellerman. Right? That's my little segue as we conclude the show talking about sports media. He needs to go dark. However he goes, Bill, I don't need to see you at the grocery store. And if I do see you at the grocery store, it doesn't need to be with your significant other. You don't need to be at the spots living your social life where people can see you, period, end story. I'm saying it. You don't need to be, right, like Robert Kraft. And Bill, you know what I mean? Like Robert Kraft is up in the club. You know what I'm saying? Up, you know what I mean? Robert Kraft is up there. Like he wants to be in the VIP with the, you know what I mean? Young. That's something that before it keeps him going, I guess. And keep, you know what I mean? And Robert Kraft's had his run, you know what I mean? But I don't want to see the same thing, the issue that Robert Kraft has had with Bill Belichick. And that's the direction he's going. That's the direction he's going, is the point of fact. Too much visibility in too many circumstances that, you know what I mean? And yes, Bill, you are a person. And, you do have the right to live your life, but you're also Bill Belichick. You're also the standard. Right? And Bill, would understand this and recognize this, being the son of somebody that coached at Navy. He would understand the chain of command and not fraternizing. Officers do not fraternize with privates. We don't. There are those lines that are not crossed. And so Bill, he's coming down from Olympus, where like he's like Bill Belichick is the grand old man. And I know that it's lonely being the grand old man. Shout out to, remember Bill Russell when he was the player coach for the Celtics. When you have to have that separation, Bill Russell couldn't go out with the team after the games anymore. And even though he loved doing that when he became the coach, I can't be at the bar with you and then at practice scream at you. So even though it hurts me because I want to be with the guys and have those moments and have that camaraderie and fraternity, I can't do it anymore. And that's where Bill Belichick is right now in his personal life, because he wants to get back into coaching football. Well, we don't need you on the cover of the tabloids. We need you to be the luminary, for people, and right, to still believe, well, you're still Bill freaking Belichick, not the guy that I see all the time on TMZ. The more people see Bill Belichick on TMZ, the more he loses, and he's lost a lot of the lust. Not a lot, but he's lost. The luster's been lost to a certain degree. It's not completely lost, but a portion of it is lost based on the post-Brady years. I'm saying I don't want all of it, the majority of it, to be lost based on the post-Brady years and then him ending up in hot water for some foolishness, or just in the, so that when the young player looks at you, it's not, oh, this is Bill Belichick, Tom Brady's coach that won 6 Super Bowls and went to all these Super Bowls and, and it was Bill Parcells. You know what I mean? This is the dude that was on TMZ at the club where I'm at. Like, who's not, you know what I mean? It's such a fine line for people to look at you sideways. So I don't need to be hearing, I don't want to be seeing from Bill Belichick, and Bill Belichick, you know what I mean? I like you do the events on, the Tom Brady roast, the Patriot stuff, fine. But your personal life, living the Vida Loca, and, the perception of you different than an all-time great Patriots way coach, cut that nonsense out. Cut it out. Cut it out. You're plenty rich. You can live a comfortable life, a luxurious life that nobody knows about. All right? Right? You're not Michael Jordan, but Michael Jordan says it. You would want to be me for 6 minutes. You would want to be me for 6 hours. You would want to be me for 6 days. You would not want to be me for 6 months. You would not, in terms of how I have to live. Right? Saw something on social media about like a Michael Jordan party and how he has to conduct himself to throw these parties. Meaning like the invite, you only get a message that the party's happening like 2 hours before the party. Or like, that day, Michael Jordan's having a party. Oh, word? What we doing tonight? Miami just having a party. Okay, we going. Where's the party? They don't let you know where the party is until like an hour before the party actually starts. And only certain people get the information. And then there's like 18 security checkpoints to get to the actual party. And we throwing everybody else out. You're going to jail. You know what I mean? Security staff out, we got NFL linemen deep. We got a whole probably like an NFL, not an NFL, because the NFL team got how many people, but you know what I'm talking about. Like all the offense, you got like 20, 30 offensive linemen type dudes at that event, minimum, doing the security. Like, no, I don't care, if you're not on the list, no. We're not having no acting out. We're not having no foolishness. And we're not having anybody know that this party ever existed, happened in the first place. Right? That's how you got to move. That's how people at that level, the billionaire class, moves. Now, Bill Belichick's a millionaire. He's not a billionaire. We understand that. But he's also somebody that wants to get back into coaching and catch Don Shula. Right? If you're not the grand old man, Bill Belichick, then who the heck are you and why should I listen to you? You got to be the grand old man. Okay? I don't need to see you backing it up at the club. Stop that nonsense. Okay? Still checking with my people. Hey, my YouTube, my people are rocking with me on YouTube. I appreciate, I respect you. We on Facebook, baby. It's Facebook summertime. Summertime. You know what I'm saying? We with you. We rocking with you on the Facebook, and the Twitter is going. I can't, but we live on the Twitter, and the Twitch is going. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, we're gonna finish with sports media. We finished with sports media because there's been another. When we talked about it, right? Skip Bayless is leaving undisputed. That is huge. He was, a pillar of Fox Sports. Fox Sports brought Skip over. Fox Sports brought Colin Cowherd over. Those were the two flagship personalities to build the company up to compete with ESPN. I remember when Colin first came over, he would do the Herd with Colin Cowherd, and then he would go right over to Speak for Yourself, which is now Speak. He would do both of those. You're talking about two guys, a lot of respect, self-made men, grinders, had issues in their background, kind of coming up. And they just, you know what I mean? It just got instilled in them that I'm responsible for me and I am going to succeed. Hook, come hell or high water, whatever the case may be. And they just have a drive that's like no other. This is why they're both highly successful. We're going to start with Skip. Skip is not going anywhere. I was stunned to hear. Skip Bayless is 73 years old. He's 73. He looks like he is 73. Okay? Know that he's a workout warrior, runs marathons. Okay? Just finished second in his high school class because he took a class that teacher wouldn't give A's. So that's the only B that he got throughout his entire high school career. Earned a scholarship to Vanderbilt, off the charts at Vanderbilt, got a job as a journalist right at Vanderbilt, and built himself up into a nationally known, respected journalist. Got the opportunity at ESPN. Rest is history. Okay? He's not going anywhere. Skip Bayless can't say retirement. Obviously, he can spell it being a journalist. He can't say the word retirement. Right? He's unable. He ain't going nowhere. So I'm fascinated in terms of what his next iteration is going to be, because he does have a next iteration, and he is an important voice in the media landscape, period, and story. He's not everybody's cup of tea, but Skip Bayless is a highly skilled conversationalist, debater, brings different things into the conversation, innovative, insightful, the whole 9 yards. He is an important person in the media space, and I am excited and looking forward to him getting another opportunity and what it is going to be. Now, you see, again, this is the whole thing. Like this is our media thing. You can disagree, and even Uncle Shannon, it says this. I'm not letting 6 months ruin 6 good years, or 7 months ruin 7 good years. Okay? By all accounts and purposes, from what I understand, both from Shannon and then just people in the media space, off camera, Skip Bayless is a block of ice. Off camera, he is not personable, bubbly, at all. I can do that for the show, and then after, I am all business. I don't know you, you don't know me. You know what I mean? Put respect on my name. Like the reports, I'm like, he's not just like an Adams. He doesn't have that Adam Sandler where it's, like Adam Sandler. We talked, you know what I mean? He visited the Cape, has a house in the Cape, did a movie on the Cape. Known for walking down the street. You need an audio, like, you know what I mean? The story I told about Bill Belichick, I would fall out of my chair if I heard that about Adam Sandler. I would fall out of my chair. Every report that I've heard about Adam Sandler is the most down-to-earth, humble, just cool, sign the autograph, go to Wimpy's, pay for everybody's dinner. You know what I'm saying? And a $20 million a movie, a highly successful profit. He's that dude, but he goes out of his way to be a dude. He's that dude, but he goes out of his way to be a dude. Just like you know what I mean? Like that dude, like he's all right. He good people, man. He leave you with that sense, like Adam Sandler was, dap you up, like, what's good, man? You leave fit like that, you know what I mean? I'm happy he's successful. He deserves his millions of dollars. I can keep my 9-to-5 grinding job, and I'm happy that he has his millions. That's a good dude. Respect for your success. Every report that I've heard about Adam Sandler follows that narrative. And the fact of the matter, he just shows up to basketball courts with baggy basketball shorts and polo shirt. Shout out that he showed up to courts, got the polo shirt on with the baggy basketball shorts out there, just running, hooping. He's a dude. Skip Bayless on the other side of the spectrum. I've yet to hear a report about, and you hear like little glimpses, like Marcellus talked about it, like he does have personality, and joke around and stuff like that, but he is all business. All business. And he's not, you know what I mean? You can't just kind of chop it up and, but that's really who he is in life. And that's where you get insights into him. Like I told you, we talked about this. His brother is a world-renowned chef in Chicago. World-renowned. Barack Obama was like, I need you in the White House. Please. I need that good meal after a long day, being the leader of the free world. I need it. Please come to the White House. His brother was like, nah, I'm going to stay in Chicago and do what I'm doing. I'm staying in Chicago and do what I'm doing. You know what I mean? And like the theory was like, I can, you know what I mean? But if I'm not there running it, they're going to rob me. They're going to rob me blind. I can't pass this off to nobody. I can't trust nobody else to do it. I can't trust nobody else to do this. I'm not going to be the chef for the president of the United States. That's his brother, and they don't really talk. They're not close, and he's honest about that. He has a sister as well. Like, you know what I mean? They had a difficult upbringing. Their parents dealt with substance abuse, alcoholism specifically. He's talked about it. I'm not talking out of school here. He talked about it. Not once he says did he get a pat on the back or recognition or, for being the standout student and young person that he was. Not once. Got one B. He got one B in his entire high school career. Finished second in the valedictorian race. No support and encouragement. None. He's built different. And the thing, Shannon Sharp did have family. And Shannon Sharp talks about it, like his older brother Sterling. It was like a father figure. He grew up with his grandfather and his grandmother in rural Georgia. He was out there. You talked about how hard he works now. Shannon Sharp says, I work from camp to camp. I don't know nothing about camp to camp. My grandfather, born in rural Georgia, knows about camp to camp. I done lived the good life my whole life and haven't made good on a number of things. Honestly, speaking 100. Haven't made good on the good times that I've been given. But my grandfather knows about camp to camp. He knows about can't see in the morning to can't see at night. That's the work day. that's normal. And so, if you follow Shannon, you see something like he talks about the upbringing, and it's fascinating. But these are two type A workers. And now Shannon's on the upswing, Skip's on the downswing. But knowing that background, he gonna come back up again. He's coming back up again. And it's just a matter of how it's gonna. And it's unfortunate. I didn't. The thing with Undisputed for me, I had no problem with the four panelists. I thought it was engaging. Michael Irvin is a dynamo. Michael Irvin can carry a show, can be the one A. Shouldn't have got ESPN is just getting rid of everybody. It looks like so ESPN shouldn't have got rid of him. And he gave you that energy. So I had no issue with the Undisputed. The only thing was Michael Irvin is a football guy, so they didn't have in their four. You know what I mean? Paul's doing okay, but they needed another Michael Irvin type personality for basketball for the other, like a Gilbert Arenas, type of, somebody, or like a Steven Jackson, Matt Barnes. They needed that type of lead for the non-football month. That was my only issue with Undisputed. Skip's going to be back. Okay. Now, the interesting component that I'm hearing is somebody that can fill certainly Skip's shoes is Max Kellerman. No question about it. And Max Kellerman, this just in, was awesome at ESPN. His own show was solid. Obviously, he created Around the Horn. Okay, and I had no problem with him on First Take. There was the issue wasn't the issue was just that Stephen A. and him and Stephen A. Okay, did it work? Did it not work? And their points back and forth. That First Take is better with a Stephen A. and then just Shannon Sharp one day, Mad Dog another day, JJ Redick another day, Pat McAfee another day. That's better for First Take. Stephen A. is the show, and then a headliner with him each specific day. Mina Kimes, come on, Dan Orlovsky, come on, get Marcus Spears, Ryan, bring in Steve, and just bring in, everybody wants to do the show, high ratings. It's has nothing to do with Max. That's just the best format. And this just in, which he took after, was on and popping in the afternoon. That was a great show. So for whatever reason, ESPN, I don't know. I got to talk about, and we doing an hour and a half, and it is what it is. We're gonna keep moving and grooving. It's the summertime. We got YouTube rocking with me. I appreciate YouTube. We're getting some views. People are finding me, even though Skip, we talking a little bit about that, but I got to revise with the title, and I go back, I do that afterwards. So people are like, what the heck is going on? You're talking about old topics. I go back and I revise my topics afterwards. Okay, that's how I get that. That's how I do that. But yes, Max Kellerman can fill and he can do, he's on the same level. Yes. Did I mention he created Around the Horn? Another show ESPN has talked about getting rid of what the heck is going on? So Max Kellerman would be a great replacement for Skip on Undisputed. I just, they need to get Michael Irvin back. They need, Keyshawn is great. Keyshawn is like Keyshawn's very cerebral. You know what I mean? They need an energy guy. Right? So Keyshawn would be the you know what I mean? However they work it out. Like Max at the front of the table, and then, you need, it's not just, Keyshawn is not a Shannon Sharp. He's not a Michael Irvin. That's no slight against him. Okay, but you need a dynamo to play off of Max Kellerman. Keep Keyshawn and bring Michael Irvin in. That would be what I would suggest. But then again, that's similar to what they had before. So again, I'm not understanding that. That's where it's did Skip just rage quit? And he was unhappy. The format that they had, they just needed. Michael Irvin is not. He's good for football. I don't know. I don't know if Michael Irvin wants to do any of the other sports. Okay. It just goes just like everybody's not Shannon Sharp. It's just everybody's not Stephen A. Smith. You know what I mean? So maybe that's the new format for the show that they're going to go to, essentially, right? Max is the guy, and like Keyshawn will be there one day, or Keyshawn will be, you can have more, but they'll just bring in a host of guys that might work, but certainly Michael Irvin during football season, Michael Irvin all throughout football season, and then you just kind of rotate in. It'll be Max, it'll be Keyshawn, and then you just rotate in, Rachel Nichols does a great job, just rotate in. Who might be, who would be great for that seat, now that I think about it, is Emmanuel Acho. Acho could be in that seat. That would work. Acho has it. Now, Acho has his own thing of speak, but Acho and Max would work. Max, Acho, oh yeah, now you're talking. No, that's the connection right there. And as far as speak goes, Joy Taylor's ready to step into the number one role. Joy Taylor can step into the number one role on speak. She has what she's doing with Too Personal, and so Joy can definitely now let Joy run speak. We keep McCoy and some of Acho's guys; they can be in the mix, but it's Joy's show, and she brings in different voices that she's familiar with. That would work. Where does Keyshawn go now? Where does Keyshawn can go? Keyshawn can go to the afternoon and go to take over. So that would work for me. Max, Acho, Undisputed is locked. That's the show. Max, Acho, you got your two heavyweights. Acho gives you the charisma, the dynamism. Max gives you everything else. And some charisma and dynamism. Don't sleep on Max. That back and forth, boom, Undisputed is set. Keyshawn, you're going now to be at speak, taking over for so you flip those. It's Joy's show. Joy runs it. So okay, we can keep Shady, but some of like the other, like some of Acho's guys now, some of Acho's guys gonna have to take a step back. We'll get you in, but not, and then Joy puts her people in. That's what how that's how it can work. I like that. I don't like that. I love that. Acho, Max, and then the herd stays. The herd is strong. Joy is now running speak. Keyshawn is over there with Joy on speak. As a secondary, LaShawn, third, and then whoever else. I'm sorry, but not sorry. Fourth, and then Joy brings more of her people in to to move around, and then we're good, or they're good. So that's, and then Skip, because the reporting is he's not going back to ESPN. So Skip is either going to go, to whatever, wherever he'll go. It's not going to be Fox News. Is not going to be, So what does he go with? Does he go with DraftKings? Does he go with, one of the, whatever? But it's not going to. It doesn't look like he's going to be with a cable company, which is interesting. But we'll see where he goes. All right, we've been on for an hour and 40. It is what it is. No, but we have to. Situation with the NBA and their licensing. Listen, incredibly unfortunate. The NBA on TNT inside the NBA is going the way of the dinosaur, but it is. It's going the way of the dinosaur. Period. Charles Barkley said he's retiring after the next year. They've all had great careers, and they're all going to ride off into the sunset. This comes down to the head honchos at TNT, whoever that or whatever the company is. They wanted to strong arm Adam Silver, and they found out otherwise. Bottom line, they didn't put respect on Adam Silver's name and how they talked to him, how they treated him, coming out with this whole thing. The NBA, we don't need the NBA, and it's too political. And people are okay. So where you at now? You talk that crazy talk. Nobody's saying the NBA. Nobody's saying the NBA is the NFL and will ever be the NFL. But where you at now? Appointment viewing comes down to one thing: live sports. Where you at now? There's no reason for this to have gotten to this point in the first place, but people want to talk. And Adam Silver, as you can see, yes, he has the iron fist in the velvet glove, but he don't mind keeping the velvet glove on, meaning everybody's eating right now with this media deal. Amazon is getting their little taste. The NBA on NBC is coming back. That that dun 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 da 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 da. That's coming back, folks. Bananas. Hide your kids, hide your wife. Bananas. That's going to be a smash hit. Not just because it's from my childhood, but other people now coming into and appreciating that didn't grow up in the awesome 80s, early 90s. They're going to get that NBA on NBC. That's going to be bananas. Okay, ESPN's getting a little piece. Everybody's going to eat off of this contract. This new and the bottom line is appointment viewing comes down to one thing: live sports. Everything else I can get somewhere else. Period. All right, I can DVR this, I can DVR that, I can watch a 10-second clip to get all the whole 2 hours. What happened? Give me the 10, you know what I mean? Get out of my face. I need to move on to the next thing. We're always moving on to the next thing constantly, consistently, and never really being in one place at one time in one moment. But, that's what's interesting to me. And now TNT at the last minute wants to match the Amazon deal. And the way the NBA, everything's good. The way the NBA just slammed the door shut on that, let it be known this is personal. I got appreciate the concurrent views on the YouTube. This is personal. This is personal now. And TNT, whether you're a jilted lover, whatever, coming in last minute, take me back, match the deal. And Adam's heck to the no. And he is a lawyer by trade. So, you know what I mean? And obviously these are billions of dollars of companies. So they got, battalions of lawyers to fight these things out. It's going to eventually be what they want it to be. And yeah, it didn't need to be this way. The NBA and TNT, that long-standing relationship, even if you felt that way about Silver, you certainly don't go public with it. But it seems that you just posture behind the scenes was trying to strong arm Adam Silver and the NBA, and you're looking stupid now. Because Amazon is going to do what they do, right? How Thursday Night Football on Amazon, bananas. They're going to have their little gadgets to make it awesome. So that's one thing, and inside the NBA, Chuck said he's retiring. Ernie's going to stay with TNT and do a number of other things. Ernie does plenty of things, so he's going to be fine. He does baseball, he does golf. They still have the NCAA tournament, even though it's not going to be the same because it's not connected with the NBA. So Ernie's going to land on his feet, and Shaq's not going anywhere. So Shaq will come, he'll get a major deal with one of these new companies, and Shaq will be good. And Kenny, same thing. Kenny can find his spot, and he'll be good. But it didn't need to be this way. Jeff Bezos came to NBA with respect and a lot of money. Because Jeff Bezos, and he's taking over everything, which is a whole different subject, but he's taking over everything. But in his takeover, he, at the outset, does it with a smile and a handshake, and a lot of money. He's going to smile at you, going to shake your hand, he's going to get in the business with you. Oh, it's a great deal. And then slowly but surely, his power just, right, like with Amazon, right, starts with books, and then, and he runs the internet, and Blue Moon taking over, the outer space, and, Wall Street Journal. But it starts with a handshake, a lot of money, and like a friendly deal. And TNT didn't want to do that for some reason, which is, so you get what's coming to you. There's no reason you couldn't have put respect on Adam Silver and the NBA's name. There's no reason. But you chose to talk that crazy talk and double down on it. So Adam Silver quietly, consistently, effectively, determinedly, that's not even a word, with determination, edged you out, and now you're looking stupid. Okay? So that's how I feel about it. Everybody's kind of moving on at TNT. You got wrestling, but the NBA is what connect, but we'll see. We'll see. Don't cry for me, Argentina. I'm not crying for you, TNT. I'm going to be looking forward to this last year. It's going to be wonderful. Chuck riding off into the sunset. Ernie riding off into the sunset. Chuck riding off to the next opportunity. Kenny riding off to the next opportunity. And it goes from there. All right, so folks, thank you for rocking with me. We did an hour. We did hour 44. That's good. And we're going to continue to build and continue to grow. Appreciate the people that tuned in. Like, comment, subscribe. Give me feedback. Give me the criticism. I'm all for it. And this is a passion project, and we're going to keep doing it and moving and grooving. All right. And as they say, thanks a lot. We'll see you next time, folks.